Hello there. So, on this fine evening, I thought that I would do a little video on some negatives to having dreadlocks simply because, my sister was talking to me about how she wanted to have dreads. And so she was asking me, well, what do you think is like one of the like bad things about having dreads? Like if I were to consider and things like that. And like not necessarily that I think there are any like, bad things associated with dreads. It's just that there are some things that you need to be aware of while you're going to be getting dreads. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is a job. So, when you have dreadlocks, people kind of put you into a certain category and assume that you're a certain way, I guess, and maybe it's just that's one thing, I guess. People also just think it's an unsightly look. It just doesn't look as nice, and there's that as well. And it's just it's unfortunate simply because lots of people who have different types of hair are just really sweet and friendly people, and so it upsets me that that's one thing that you have to worry about is job, because your work ethic really has nothing to do with your hair. So, but there's that. um there's also one thing that I was worried about. I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I was gonna miss running my fingers through my hair. And I mean, since I can't really run my fingers through my hair right now, I can't experience it at this moment and say, yeah, I miss that. But I mean, I'm sure that I do miss it. I have my little frillies in the front here, so I mean, uh, I do have something to run my fingers through, I guess, technically. That's been something that like some of my boyfriends have said is that I wish I could like run my fingers through your hair or something like that. Or if you're like cuddling with someone and then it's like, oh, mouth full of dreads, face full of dreads, it's like, sorry, not that sorry. I mean, I like my dreads, so it's not really gonna change. But yeah, so there's that as well, worrying about other people getting your hair in their face and stuff like that. Also, depending on what kind of dreads you get, um, and depending on whether or not or how frequently you wash them, there can be an added smell that you may not enjoy. And honestly, with my hair, I washed it today, but I don't normally wash my hair. And after I don't wash it for a while, it kind of gets this like stale feeling, sort of, I guess. Like, not, okay, it's not even stale feeling. It has like a stale, I guess, subtle smell that only I can detect, I guess, because every single time I point out that I think my hair smells stale, my sister smells it and she just goes, "It just smells like hair. Like it just smells like hair, and I don't have any other scent to give you on." It's like, huh? I mean, okay, I'm not complaining. It doesn't smell good, but it doesn't smell bad either, so it's not awful. But yeah, so sometimes it can smell, and itchiness is an issue. Actually, another issue that I had when I first got my dreads, it's not really a problem now. Um, it was dandruff, and that was because I didn't wash my hair, as I said, and so I guess it kind of congregated on my scalp and stuff. And I noticed that when I first got dreads, that it was noticeable that I was starting to get dandruff. Now I don't think it is as much because I guess I wash it a little more than I used to, or perhaps I just am massaging my scalp more regularly. I really couldn't tell you. I have no idea, but I think it's because I'm washing my hair a little more frequently. That was the one that makes the most sense, so I'm gonna go with that one. Anyways, yeah, so gotta worry about that kind of stuff. And I get a lot of the time I read things about how people say like, oh, they get these weird looks from other people and they feel like everyone's looking at them and things like that. And I don't really get that. Like, I mean, I notice if someone I don't even actually. I'll give you an example. Like at my school, sit in the cafeteria. There's so many people I don't bother looking around at everybody else just because like there's so many of you. Who am I gonna look at? So I sit and eat my food and do whatever I'm doing. And I'll be sitting with a friend and be like, that person like just looked over at you and like it's like giving you like the look at your dreads and stuff like that. Like she just talked to her friend. It's just like, okay, I just don't understand how other people even notice. Like I don't notice if there could be the most attractive looking guy walking like right in front of me, and I really don't think I'd notice. I kind of like tunnel vision when I'm like doing my own thing, and so you know, walking around in public and like when there's so many people around you, it's not really, I don't really notice if anyone's like looking at my dreads or giving me weird looks or making a snarky eye or something like that. Like I really have no idea. They could um people could be judging the crap out of me, and I just don't notice. And to be honest, I don't really care. It's so far hasn't contributed to my life whatsoever. Nothing significant has happened where I've been like, oh, that person has judged me, and that really affects my life in a serious way. And so it's really not worth even like thinking about. Like some other people kind of worry about that as an aspect, but really I don't really care about the other looks people like give me. Like when I was growing up, I did lots of stuff with my hair, and if I really was gonna try and pay attention to what other people think of me, then I probably wouldn't have gotten piercings. And I used to have my eyebrow pierced, and I have dreadlocks, so a little unsightly. I think it's beautiful, but others don't see it that way. And let's see, what else is there that you might want to watch out for? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Those were what I was thinking about when I was talking to my sister. And I think that that's kind of what we went through. Like there's the obvious ones, like you're not going to be able to do the things that you normally do with your hair. So if you really like to style your hair and do your hair in like a lot of creative different ways, you're probably not going to have the best time with dreadlocks, depending on what kind of dreads you get. And that being said, because you can get like, I mean, I'm sure that it's possible to do lots of different cool hairstyles with dreadlocks. Like, I mean, I know that there is one way where you can do something where it looks like kind of like a fancy braid, and I've tried doing that before, and it's like, and not even just a braid, you like kind of tuck the bottom in so it looks like a really fancy like bun or something like that. I don't really know. It looks really pretty though, and so I'm sure that there are ways to do that on all types of dreads, but I know that specifically it is easiest to do different hairstyles with smaller dreads. So, well, because kind of like the smaller the dreads you have, the more it's like your natural hair, like the smaller the locks, like that's what it would be like with your natural hair. You don't exactly have big clumps of hair with just natural stuff going on. So the smaller the dreads you have, the easier it'll be for you to manage, I guess, with regards to doing nice hairstyles. But that does not mean that it's not possible for like massive dreads or really weird untamed looking dreads. It's absolutely possible for any hairstyle. You just gotta have the commitment for it. So yeah, there's that. There's just the added fact of, well, okay, it depends on what kind of dreads you have, because there, on the one hand, there could be the added responsibility that you have to take on with dreadlocks, where with oops, it's falling, with like maintaining, and if you're gonna palm roll, or if you're gonna use products or use crochet hook or put stuff in it or dye it or whatever, that could be an added commitment. Or even just sleeping with them, walking around with them, just having them on your head in the first place can be an added commitment. And but with my type of dreads, where I just want to leave them and not do anything to them, that is kind of alleviated where there's an added responsibility, because there isn't. I got dreads so that I wouldn't have to do anything to my hair, so there's that side of it as well. But sure, some of you all think about that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's most of the negatives that I can think of. When I think of negatives, it's kind of, I feel like I get into like the nitty gritty of like dreadlocks. Like, oh, well, this specific point about dreadlocks is kind of annoying sometimes. So that could be a negative. But like when I think about the benefits, I think about like, oh, I could do no, I could make new friends. I could feel just more myself, more at home in my own body, if you will. I could just feel more natural. I can be lazy, and that's okay. And my dreads can be an excuse for me to be lazy, and I can just have extra time when I'm doing stuff, and like I just feel so good because I just don't even need to worry about it. I just leave it, and it's like such a good icebreaker for any type of friendship. You know, it's just there's I just you know what side I'm on. I like dreadlocks, but I think that that's all I have for right now. Sorry that it's kind of all over the place when I give you information. Not that organized, not very good at kind of planning stuff out and going, I should say this and I should say this and then it should lead into this, which would end up taking me here, which is good because that's where I want to be. No, I just kind of like let words happen and we end up here. So, yeah, that's my negative spiel for dreadlocks. Hopefully, it's helpful in whatever way it needs to be. And have a nice night, guys.